Welcome back to the Healthy Habit Podcast, everyone. Episode 259. I'm your host, Dr. Dejan Matijevich of Healthy Habit Medical Center. And look who's back, the legend herself, Stacy Faulkner, National Science Educator at Emerald Labs, who's been super consistent with us over the years, going on half a decade now talking to Stacy. Doesn't it feel crazy? It's been about that long already, even dating back to 1100 KFNX, the AM radio show here on the Healthy Habit Podcast. So we're excited to dive into this episode where we're going to be highlighting choline. There's a product from Emerald Labs called VitaCholine, like vitality, but VitaCholine, and all the different ways choline can play a role in someone's health and longevity. This is the gold standard in choline, folks. Welcome back, Stacy. Let's dive right in. How are you doing?
I'm good. Happy holidays. How are you, Dan?
Happy holidays. Doing good. We're recording this just after Thanksgiving here,
Okay.
2025, first week of December. This will
I always
probably be
forget.
airing in about a month, so
Okay.
right into the New Year's season 2026. So, why did you choose to highlight choline, the gold standard here today, VitaCholine? Why is this so important for people to understand?
Well, the reason is Emerald Labs just came out with its own standalone of the form of the ingredient VitaCholine. It's a patented, optimized, like you said, highly researched form of choline. Um, and so we've now added it to our number one seller, the Be Healthy Complex. And also we've now added it to our multis. So I think it's important to illustrate to the people the importance of choline because I think it's kind of underrated and not really on people's radar about the benefits of choline and how many people are actually very deficient in it. I think 97% of adults, and I think it's like 95% of teenagers, or it might be opposite that way. The benefits of, in vitro development, early development for the baby, also for the mom that the research is showing. Also, people are not very familiar with how much it can really improve the mood. It
Right.
is a precursor to acetylcholine, which is one of our major of the four neurotransmitters, or what people will call our mood regulators. Um, and so in vitro muscle memory has been shown for baby development, mood memory and focus, cognition overall, so working with the synapses.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just one ingredient. It is a B vitamin. A lot of people do not know that in 1998 it was determined to be considered essential. So
Oh,
Emerald
well.
Labs always had the choline in the B complex, but in this last year, we're now using this patented, trademark, fully optimized, highly researched VitaCholine by a company called Balchem. So anybody can purchase it. But Dr. Stangler is our formulator, as you know, and saw the real importance of using an optimized choline. And also with Emerald Labs, we try to really stay with the approach of more like vegan driven ingredients, or really clean, high quality ingredients. And choline is normally sourced from genetically modified soy, and we're a completely soy free company. And so with that, we're using the Balchem's Vital Choline, which is from it says it on the front of the label, but it's an L plus bitartrate. And so that's
Got it.
coming from the red grapes from wine production. So highly, it's organic. That when I say optimized, I'm just trying to tell the listeners that it's fully researched. It has so
Right.
much research. And then if people wanted to go to the Vital Choline website, they would clearly see that they're working for years with a campaign with the New York Jets currently to look at what, like I said, mood, memory, and focus. And that's going along with they're researching traumatic head injuries and following the football players before head injury, after head injury, and then during and then after. And so when people, if they're interested in, for anybody that's had a head injury from whether falling down on an icy sidewalk, or a child on off a trampoline, or skateboarding, skiing. It's just a car accident, any kind of a head injury is what Balcom is really leading their research with right now with the New York Jets. And so mood,
Interesting.
memory, and focus. So when you have a head injury, what usually starts to happen? The mood changes because depression happens, because maybe they're not focused as much. They can't they can't their memory is their cognition is not so good. And so I think that's fascinating with just starting with that point right there.
Wow. Yeah, you said it's a precursor for acetylcholine, which is a key
Yeah.
neurotransmitter, memory, brain, focus, the nervous system. But it's also a precursor for phosphatidylcholine and sphingomyelin. These are essential phospholipids maintaining the structure and integrity of all cell membranes, which is
Yeah.
basically the surrounding of each cell, like the
Yeah.
protective barrier. You need it
Yeah.
for, like you said, acetylcholine, muscle control. It even acts as a methyl group donor. And
Yeah.
like you said, choline's a B vitamin, right, Stacey?
Yeah. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
was considered essential back in 1998, but a lot of manufacturers, supplement manufacturers, don't really address that. So we're trying to get that word out and then having it as a standalone. Dosing is normally at 550, 450 to 550. The Emerald Labs is dosed at 2 capsules at 550. This is an organic, and it is a clean, non-GMO. We're 100% non-GMO or 100% soy-free, additive-free company. So this VitaCholine by Balchem just totally slides right into the protocol that Emerald Labs likes to use.
Amazing. And I'm about to do a screen share here on VitaCholine,
Yeah.
but I love that we're first introducing it and like going deep on like why is choline important, what different body processes depend on it, and organs like brain, liver, muscles, like we mentioned,
Oh, yeah.
transporting lipids effectively, like cholesterol management. It helps
The
basically
nerve
regulate it.
impulse
And
transmissions, yeah, I mean,
yep,
gallbladder and liver function, like you mentioned, the lecithin formation. So when we look at liver, it's actually very helpful in helping somebody that has a fatty liver, a non-alcoholic fatty
yeah,
liver, build up by transferring the fats, right? Like from the gallbladder and all of that. So it has like a full range for such a little tiny B vitamin. It has such a full range of support for the human body, brain, muscle control, and also the in vitro development for child development. So they've also been following, if people are interested, again, look at Balchem VitaCholine, it'll pop up. You'll get the research, the abstracts, and what they're doing with not only the New York Jets for traumatic head injury and mood, memory, and focus, but also they've been following moms before birth, I mean, before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and up to 7 years now
oh wow,
after pregnancy, following the in vitro cognitive superiority, the development of the child in vitro. Not
wow,
only did they find with the moms taking the 550 of the VitaCholine pre pre-pregnant wise, post no, pre-pregnancy wise,
yeah,
it improved the mom's focus. And then during pregnancy, they saw the development, and then now they're following these kids and studying them after, during, with their cognitive development and superiority during school and sports and all of that. It's really fascinating. And talking about this pregnancy thing, they combined it with a really high quality DHA. So if
uh-huh.
people are listening at the Healthy Habit store right now, if somebody's thinking about, a woman's thinking about getting pregnant, you really might want to consider taking the VitaCholine with a high quality DHA for you and the developing baby.
I'm about to do a quick screen share. I'm so
Yeah,
glad you
yes.
just mentioned those two in particular because this
Yeah.
study is going to put all that together for our viewers and listeners here. This is from a 2019 study, about 6 years ago now, May of 2019, from the journal Nutrients, which is one of the highest impact nutrient journals out there, medical journals. And
Hmm.
literally, choline and DHA in maternal and infant nutrition, which Stacy was just mentioning, DHA and choline, how important it is pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, and after pregnancy. But according to this study, 90% of Americans
Yeah.
are not getting enough choline in their diet.
I think it's
Uh,
even higher.
you
I
can
think
even
it's even
see,
higher, doctor.
right, but yeah, I mean, even 90 itself is unbelievable. Like you can see here, they concluded the authors adequate choline and DHA intakes are not being met by the vast majority of U.S. adults, even more so by women of childbearing age. So, and that's going to have a big role in infant brain and eye development, according to this study, can
Yep.
lead to long-term visual and neurocognitive deficits. So, super important. I'm glad we set the stage on this one, Stacy. And foods that someone might want to consider. You okay if I go through a quick list of some foods that are high
Well,
in choline?
they're not gonna like your list unless they like, I mean, go ahead
Unless
because
they're unless
it's
they're
an interesting list
unless
of
they're
foods and
carnivores. You better
yeah.
be a carnivore with this list. So
Organ meat. Go ahead.
that's
Go
number
away with
one.
it.
Number one is organ meat. Yeah, like liver, kidneys. Number two is fish, caviar, and then beef is on there. And I will give some vegetarian, vegan sources as well, but these are like the top. These are like the
Hmm.
most concentrated sources: chicken, turkey, eggs, of course, egg yolks. But then even
But
shiitake
milk.
mushrooms. This is where the
Yeah.
vegan foods come into play here. Shiitake mushrooms for the vegan
Uh-huh.
vegetarians, soybeans. Of course, you want to find the non-GMO organic soy.
Right.
Otherwise, don't buy it. 90% of soy in America is GMO
Yep.
and heavily sprayed with glyphosate. So I eat tofu, edamame, soy milk,
Sure.
and all that, but I'm buying non-GMO organic ones, very specific ones. And then wheat germ as well, super high in vitamin E, but also packed with choline, cruciferous vegetables, almonds, lima beans, red potatoes, all of these. Quinoa is a popular gluten-free,
Powerhouse quinoa.
yeah, high in
Milk
protein
from
as
all
well.
ruminants. Milk from
Okay,
all
milk,
milk from all ruminants. So wherever you're getting your milk, we're
got
good.
it. That's a good option as well. So I think we did a great job setting the stage there on choline, and now I'm going to screen share here the VitaCholine
Mm-hmm.
option for people to follow and have on their radar. One of Emerald Lab's newest products, the VitaCholine, the gold standard in choline. Why did Emerald choose to put out a choline product now as one of their newer ones? Obviously, we just said it's important, but how did that come about? Whose
Well, we
idea was
know.
that? Like, how did that come to play?
I think Dr. Stengler too. I think this is just my opinion.
Sure.
Without choline, people are experiencing more poor memory, brain function.
Interesting.
Also, Dr. Stengler's wife is very heavily involved in uh, women's health and women's pregnancy.
Okay.
So I think they kind of look at these things together. And with this vital choline coming available, it was just kind of, in my mind, appropriate to have a non-soy, optimized, researched, highly researched form of choline that we add to our top seller, which is the B complex. And a lot of people just don't understand. We can produce some of our choline from like serine or methionine, but we don't really produce our own B vitamins. We don't. And so you have to get it through either your whole foods or through supplementation. And so when you're going to look at supplementation, you have to automatically look at the quality of the supplements you're taking. So if you're going
Right.
to purchase a choline, please remember, listeners, that normally the choline is coming from genetically modified soy. And so we have properly chosen the top of the line choline that we can that's coming from the wine production, wine grapes, of the L plus bitartrate. And so it's important to look at L plus bitartrate. There's an L minus bitartrate. So this is an L plus. And so we're really looking at getting those synapses firing, okay, creating healthy babies, healthy mamas during pregnancy, helping somebody that's perhaps had a traumatic head injury be able to
Right.
recover more quickly. Um, and perhaps just if people are not getting it through their foods, which, like you said, liver, dairy, soy, organ meat, etc.,
Yeah.
then you've got to supplement with it. It's a very affordable supplement. You can take it right on an empty tummy to start your day off. So you're getting your acetylcholine. So your dopamine is that neurotransmitter. Get your feet on the floor, face the day, right? So neurotransmitters are stacked, right, throughout, with our food and our brain. And so dopamine in the beginning, acetylcholine second. It's going to get your list going, get you focused, and start getting your day going with your listing and stay focused. And this acetylcholine, I mean not acetyl, this phytocholine as a precursor to acetylcholine has been proven to improve the memory, the mood, and the focus overall. Also, it helps with muscle memory. So for people that are interested in sports, so memory formation and recall, I think, are super important these days.
Right.
Um, because what we're seeing as far as so many toxins in the environment and in our foods and the stuff that we touch. And so we're starting to see, not starting, we're really seeing a huge incline um, in cognitive problems, dementia,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, and actually this vital choline has actually been shown too to improve neurogenesis, not only in vitro but as a teen or an adult of developing or producing more or creating more brain cells, right?
Right. Literally, the
Literally.
genesis of nerves, neurogenesis. That's incredible. So VitaCholine as choline L bitartrate. Give us a reminder. Why is this the gold standard?
Well, because it has so much research, completely, we call it optimized. It's got so much research on it with the proven ability to improve the memory, the mood, the focus, um, the like I said, the muscle health, muscle memory, and developing a very healthy, smart little baby. I like to always say, I make a little joke of like, if the mom is, if the if the pregnant mom would, if she knows, you're usually what I like to tell people is that if you know you want to get pregnant,
Right.
you know. So then what are you going to do? You're going to start to prepare for your body to be pregnant and maintain a healthy pregnancy. So developing the best possible in vitro little baby you possibly can. So you need to think years in advance. So you
Yeah.
need to start taking good quality supplements for yourself, a prenatal, good quality prenatal with a beautiful methylfolate in there, and all of the other vitamins and vitamins and minerals that you need to maintain and antioxidants to maintain that healthy pregnancy and develop that baby in vitro.
Interesting.
If you start with the VitaCholine in advance and you take a high quality DHA, then right away you're giving your baby a head start, you're giving yourself a head start because what I understand with women when they get pregnant, they tend to lose their memory, they tend to lose their mood, they tend to lose their focus. So everything's developing with the baby, but it takes a lot away from the mom.
Right. Amazing. That was super in depth on choline. This is going to help a lot of people, Stacy. This is important here on episode number 259 here with Stacy Faulkner breaking down VitaCholine, the gold standard in choline supplementation combined with the L plus specifically, as Stacy mentioned. There's an L minus bitartrate form. This is the L plus bitartrate, very specific. You guys can dive even deeper into this registered trademark specific form of choline, VitaCholine, and go deeper there. This is just a good introduction to at least put it on your radar. By the way, we have Stan the Demo Man in house, demoing any Emerald Labs products we're discussing here. He has always literature, free samples, and info sheets. And you can go talk to Stan the Demo Man or any of our staff here and just ask them for the VitaCholine that you're hearing about here on today's episode with Stacy. So, how would this combine with other B vitamins, Stacy? Would you suggest? And we're not giving any formal medical advice, but maybe just suggestions, things you've seen other people use together. This is a new product, so maybe we don't have enough history on it by itself yet. But in general, like the Be Healthy, what would you want to highlight next as a potential combo with this one?
So with the Be Healthy, this is now included in the Be Healthy complex.
Oh, okay, it's in there.
But oh yeah, and it's on the front of the label to show the consumer. Okay.
Yeah,
It's also now in all of the multis. So this is an added benefit to have this optimized VitaCholine included. Oh, this looks like an old label. Hang
got
on.
it. It's not going to be in
Yeah.
the. It's
All
that
right.
new, folks. It's that new.
It is,
It's
yeah,
in there. It is in there.
it's
It
in
says
there.
VitaCholine.
There it is. Now we just need to change that label there. Um, and that's just showing the consumer that's a label reader the importance of what we're using at Emerald now. It's a patented, registered trademark ingredients because we're looking at human clinically studied ingredients. Dr. Stengler is the formulator. He's looking at human studies, not animal studies and
Right,
ingredients. And also remember, folks, that we are a completely soy-free, soy-free company. And
right.
so choline is normally found in the non-GMO soy. And also we try to be as vegan as possible. So this vital choline just has the studies behind it. It has the information behind it, that is, patently true. And I believe that if somebody would take VitaCholine for this 550 is standard, and I think breastfeeding women need at least 550, but ours is at 550 per two capsules. Like I said, you can take it on an empty tummy, and I mean, you are ready to face the day. You are firing much more quickly. I think even just on Stroop testing, um, click and point has improved. I think it might stay in the abstracts. And another thing with VitaCholine or with the choline, um, is it's been said to help with cholesterol,
Yeah.
um, uh, type 2 diabetes for like insulin resistance and like high levels of oxidized cholesterol. So I mean, there's several things that kind of permeate across the board here on the value of choline, which is normally considered a non-essential B vitamin, but clearly my research is showing in 1998 it became an essential B vitamin. And I don't think enough people are talking about it, which I think is important because we now have it as a singular and it's very affordable.
Right.
So
Perfect.
it's
So
included in the B complex and it's included in all the multis
all the
now too.
multis as well. That's what I'm pulling
Hmm.
up here. Good. Thank you for clarifying that. This is, for example, I'm going to go, let's say, the woman's 45 plus
Hmm.
clinical multi. There's like four different types of multivitamin options depending on the stage of life you're in, your age, and so on. And you can even see here we have choline as the VitaCholine in there as well. So this is just an example to
L
show
plus
you.
bitartrate from wine production. Hmm.
Interesting. Versus the L minus. So choline L plus bitartrate has VitaCholine, but this has only 55 milligrams. Okay, same with the Be Healthy,
Yep.
55 milligrams in there,
Right.
in the one serving size. So it's similar to magnesium, Stacy. Like when someone's taking a multivitamin, it has magnesium in it, but it might not be at the clinical level just for the magnesium that's
It might
needed. So
not.
then
What is
someone will
ours at here?
so
The page.
someone will take it in addition to a multi. A lot of people will take
Yeah,
magnesium on the side.
100.
Yeah, 123
So we
percent,
need at least 400
4 or
for the
500
magnesium
exactly.
bisglycinate. And so we're only using the albumin chelated minerals, which are highly absorbable. But when you're looking at a one a day multi, which a lot of people don't understand, a one a day is going to get you the nutrients that are going to get you through the day. Whether it be a
Right,
clinical potency, no, not a one a day. We can only get so many ingredients into one capsule. If we got all the ingredients in there for a recommended daily allowance, it would be the size of an everlasting gobstopper. And
right.
so, you're either going to buy a clinical potency where it's 4 capsules a day, or you're going to go with a one a day. But please keep in mind, listeners, that when you take a one a day, most likely you're going to have to supplement with an additional B complex, additional vitamin C, additional magnesium.
Right.
And in this case, I do take, there's several things I take right upon awakening. And that would be the VitaCholine, our N-acetylcysteine, our mushroom memory and focus. We can see, I want to hit the ground running as far as memory, mood, focus, and my
Uh-huh.
research. So recall is super important with certain things if you want to approach, your cognition, maintaining neurogenesis, you maintaining your learning and processing skills. Um, the VitaCholine's been shown to have, faster transmission, the signal transmission across the brain cells.
Interesting.
It actually acts as a high-speed communication network. So that's a good takeaway right there. High-speed communication network for people that are, researching a lot like myself, like people like yourself as a doctor, just keeping the brain flowing as far as signaling and maintaining that fast speed of transferring messages
That might be the
across the
title.
nerves.
That might be the title of today's episode, High Speed Communication Network. Love it. That's a great slogan and takeaway from today's episode, Stacy. This was
Yeah.
super informative. VitaCholine, folks, 550 milligrams, the gold standard, as choline L plus by tartrate. And yeah, I mean, super informative. I hope you guys rewatch this one and learn all things choline, how important it is. We talked about foods that contain it, not just carnivore like animal based foods, but also vegetarian, vegan friendly options for choline. We even introduced choline in general, all the different, like why it's important that 90% of Americans are deficient in this, especially women and children. Then,
Hmm.
of course, we even highlighted that the VitaCholine is found in the Be Healthy product, the B complex,
Hmm.
and in all the different multivitamin options with
Hmm.
Emerald Labs, the men's and women's 45 plus daily, once a day, plus the clinical one. So it's all in there. You're covering your bases. You might need to take it on the side with the multi if you're really
Yeah,
trying to hone in
I
on
would
your
highly
choline
recommend that
right.
for
So what would
focus, attention, neurotransmitter balance,
yeah,
high-speed communication network with
high
the brain
speed
synapses.
communication
Okay.
network. That's today's title. What would you leave us with then, my dear? How would you give us a
Well,
take home today on choline? This was
okay, so
super
for
important.
choline, high-speed communication network, neurotransmitter balance, creating a healthy baby, a superior, this is the joke I was going to say earlier, not a joke, but this is, I always say, like,
Uh huh.
if you have the mom, taking the DHA, high quality DHA with the VitaCholine, high quality choline, she's going to give birth to a little debater. I like to say that. Like, she's going to be able to argue and talk with
Uh-huh.
you in like 6 months. So, you're giving birth to a more cognitive, superior child. Balchem themselves are up into, I think, their seventh year, researching the children and their cognitive abilities. So the studies are there, the abstracts are there, the research is there. So I encourage people to go to Balchem's website and
What's
look
that site?
at Balchem, Balchem, and it's going to pull up right away the New York Jets and talk about why they're working with the New York Jets. Head injury, so traumatic head injury. I mean, I live in Oceanside here in Southern California, so we're very familiar with Junior Seau from Oceanside, who committed suicide many years ago down here, and they've attributed that to traumatic head injuries. So they get when you can't have your memory, when you're losing your memory, you can't stay focused, start to get depressed. So mood, memory, and focus. So depression a lot of times leads to behaviors like hurting yourself or,
Right.
suicide rates, major depression, not being able to maintain or hold a job, etc. So, yeah, this is the Balkan leader in choline production in the US and
This
Europe.
is super interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in the show notes in this under this video. So amazing. You've been super informative and helpful today, Stacy. Thanks for putting
Good.
this on our radar.
I took my
Emerald,
VitaCholine today.
you were on it. High speed communication network. This is incredible. Emeraldlabs.com, folks, and then balchem.com/innovation/choline. And I'll put that in the notes below. Stacy, always appreciate you.